Aussie Stadium is the venue for this round 2 clash between the South Sydney Rabbits and the Brisbane Broncos. For the Bunnies, Willie Peters and Brad Watts are the two omissions through injury, which in such crucial positions has caused a major reshuffle. This is the team sheet handed in by South's officials, but it's highly unlikely this will resemble exactly who plays where. Their coach, Paul Langmack. One of the beauties of the visitors is that it's a side that rarely changes. Lockyer behind an exciting backline that includes Ben Ikin, who got through his first game in 722 days last weekend against Penrith. The spotlight very much on Gordon Talis. The coach in his 400th first-grade game is Wayne Bennett. After winning the toss, the Broncos will receive. Stuart Kelly, the first man to taste the football. What is a pleasant Sunday afternoon. Shane Webke not getting the run-up he'd like, and already you can see that go forward in the South Sydney defensive line. Perhaps not moving up as one, but moving up with an intensity they must hold for the entire 80 minutes. Sivanasiva, met by Fletcher and company. That is tackle 4. Talis. You can hear the crowd, a very hostile reception. Benny Ikin for the clearing kick. A swirling breeze, not favouring either side. Taken nicely there by Chris Walker, an indication that the team sheet didn't mean anything.
Make sure we hold the ball.
I think we can say that the team sheet won't be taking place today. Luke Stewart isn't at fullback. We'll find Chris Walker at fullback. Owen Craigie will be pushed to the centres. Ashley Harrison looks like he'll be playing 5'8", and Luke Stewart at lock.
Paul Stringer met by the aggressive Broncos defence. Richard Swain making his first for the afternoon. Overcoming a midweek virus to be part of the action here. Frank Pulatua. One of the new age bunnies here. Fabulous field position early on for the home side. Fletcher finds Harrison, who was unable to promote the ball. Walker. Carney, the stand-in half. Nice room, too wide of the ruck. That was Justin Smith, the former Dragon. Tackle 4. Their halfback caught with the ball. This is the final tackle. The big play coming. Ashley Harrison, the man in charge, a small grubber, taken nicely by Talis. Shane Haynes sees nothing in it.
Must be there, Ashley, but to the side.
Certainly not what the Rabbitohs were looking for. Not a bad option, but just poor execution there. Needed to get the ball in the in-goal area, put some pressure on the Brisbane side.
Yes, the pressure valve firmly released as Sivanasiva takes up the first and makes his way into South Sydney territory for the first time this afternoon. The Bunnies were looking for a big set of 6 to lay a positional platform early on against the Bronx. Brad Myers, one off the ruck. Taken nicely by the front row. That is Pulatua and Stringer. One wide to Berrigan. He finds Ikin. Looking out wide, Dane Carlaw, destructive on the fringes. Darren Lockyer. Ikin again. Talis. Myers. Back to the raging bull. Webke. Unable to control the ball. It was hot potato by the big 6. Probably not the option the Broncos were looking for. The battle to get it out of their own end of the field for the Bunnies could be a steep one. They need genuine go forward, and that is not what they needed there from Brett Carney, moving in at half-back for Willie Peters. A late withdrawal due to a wrist problem. Brad Watts ruled out for the second week in a row with an ankle injury.
Don't pack until we're ready. Join Brian, get your arm over and hold him tight. I'll say, go.
The Broncos with the golden opportunity. Brent Tate was the runner Darren Lockyer was looking for, and Lockyer down just behind the play. Alarming signs already for the Bronx. Shane Webke, again busy early on. Brad Myers, Sivanasiva, Talis, working as one, the big men from the Broncos. Swain Finds Carlaw. He is searching out wide. He will give Owen Craigie and company on the left-hand side nightmares throughout the afternoon. Berrigan. A long ball to take. The Bunnies' defence will ride up on it and trap De Vere 35 metres out. That is tackle 4. Sivanasiva. South Sydney defence, the unit acting as one. Ben Aikens searches to the heavens. Nicely taken. Nathan Merritt on the far side, up against Michael De Vere. There will not be too many openings presenting themselves. De Vere, a formidable opponent defensively. Sean Berrigan helping him out on the left-hand side. Pulatua. Referee Shane Hayne enforcing a very strict 10. Very vocal early on. The stringer carts the ball forward. His second for the match. The last tackle option, crucial for the Bunnies here. A bad pass from dummy half. Harrison did well to get the ball downfield, but it goes straight to Darren Lockyer, arguably the best in the business. The Aussie fullback, trapped. That's 2 occasions early in their defensive set. The Bunnies have given away the easy penalty.
Yeah, something which they need to address. They need to, if they've got the opportunity, they need to keep Brisbane down there as long as possible. They don't need to be giving cheap penalties to Brisbane and allowing the pressure off them.
The Broncos with another fabulous opportunity. Webke. We'll get tired of seeing that frame go forward. We'll get tired of saying his name. Relentless in attack and defence. The sloppy start from both sides early on at Aussie Stadium. Is complacency going to be the issue? Can the Bunnies maintain that defensive pressure and intensity? It has already become evident it has lifted throughout the game in season 2003. Dane Carlaw, he will be on the right-hand side all afternoon. Richard Swain in the headgear. The workaholic finds Bradley Myers, the former Australian rep. Has had a fabulous off-season and looking to once again wear the green and gold of his country in 2003. A mistake from the Broncos. Now it is up to South Sydney to determine if it's a costly one. Stringer. And you can hear the crowd, and they've got their wish. Shane Walker had seen Greg Alexander pretty keen to take the quick tap. Captain Brian Fletcher pointed to the post and said, no way. What a crucial week this is for the Bunnies, for Paul Langmack, their coach, in just his second game. A spirited showing against the Bulldogs in the doubleheader at Stadium Australia last weekend. They walked away without the points, but we'll get first points here at Aussie Stadium. Is that the spark the underdogs need? It is not the start we expected to see from the side many believe is the game's benchmark, or one of the game's benchmarks, the Brisbane Broncos.
Well, the Bunnies' commitment last week was first rate. They needed to do that as good or better to match the Brisbane Broncos, and they've certainly started well. Their defence and their scrambling defence has been first rate, and they're giving the Broncos absolutely no room to move.
It may not be pretty at this stage. It is grinding down the middle, and Paul Stringer, one of the best in the industry at that. They go to Harrison. A poor left footer.
I think that came off his shin. Something that the Bunnies are doing better than the Broncos, and something that I didn't think anyone expected, getting out of their own end with greater ease than the Broncos are.
The first change for the afternoon comes after 18 or so minutes. Feeling Lola here in jersey number 17 takes the place of Frank Pulatua in the South Sydney lineup. He will go directly into the front row.
tackle
The Bunnies'
one.
defence, the intensity is certainly there. They are going into tackles in numbers. Brad Myers metting a nice one-on-one by Luke Stewart, playing on the left-hand side defence. Richard Swain, who has been given a little more creative licence than perhaps he's been used to in seasons past. Will fit in marvellously in this Broncos forward pack. His work ethic, second to none in the game. Lockyer, boot to ball. And there is plenty of Broncos there, but the ball beats the Broncos, the Bunnies, and everyone into touch. Michael DeVere looking dangerous and looking for that opportunity on the left-hand side. After taking 2 bumps early, Darren Lockyer seems to have shaken off any injury concerns there may have been. Just looking at the way the Broncos, Greg, are packing their scrum. Michael DeVere packing down at lock. Brent Tate on the left wing with Dane Carlaw. Defensively, one outside Darren Lockyer. A very strong defensive pattern. Lockyer, Carlaw and Carroll, the inside 3.
Well, you don't get a better defensive centre than Tony Carroll. I think that was a great pick-up by the Broncos to bring him back after a season.
Now, stay out.
Having some problems with the big sixes, they decide to pack down as referee Shane Hayne laying down the law in no uncertain terms. A crucial set of 6 tackles. Lola here, his first touch of the ball. For the Bunnies, they desperately need to get out and well clear of their red zone. Stewart with the ball. The Broncos playing a somewhat condensed defensive outfit, trying to jam in and up on the Bunnies early. They've made it just short of halfway. This is the last. Walker again with the kick down the right-hand side. Will it sit up? It does, just perfectly. Lockyer made to work for his paycheck. Owen Craigie showing plenty of enthusiasm on the kick chase turn. That was a fabulous kick chase from the Rabbits, Greg.
Certainly was. All made that much easier too by the runs before the kick. Brian Fletcher, a fantastic run, hit his stomach, got up quick, played the ball. That gave Walker plenty of time to jump out of dummy half. No pressure on him. When there's no pressure on you, you can pick where you're going to kick the ball, make it that much better. And that one pulled up in the end goal area, perfect result.
A couple of interchanges throughout this set of attacking 6 from the Broncos. Stacey Katu on the field for Paul Stringer. The Broncos making 2 changes too. Having a hard time with the ball at the back. The Bunnies fullback, Chris Walker for today. Corey Parker on for Bradley Myers. Andrew G there as well for Petro Sivanasiva. They certainly lose very little when going to the substitute bench, the Broncos. Andrew G, the 4th most capped Bronco in the short history of the club. Craigie looks for an opening out wide. He is caught by DeVere. Tackle number 4, Fletcher. Playing a true captain's knock in the opening 22 minutes. He is leading by example. Carney, boot to ball. And again finding the room. Something they must do. They must make this Broncos back 3 really work. They must make them chase the ball to give that kick chase team the opportunity to get right up in their face. The Bunnies line condensed and jamming, limiting the yards. Corey Parker, ball in hand. His first attacking touch. And somewhat easy meters for the substitute. Carlaw, again on the right-hand side, devastating. When he has a little bit of room to move. Lockyer, plenty of pressure on from Shane Walker. They take it through the hands, out to Brent Tate. Is it a 2-on-1 situation? It is! And Tate has the pace to go round both. Inside Chris Walker. And Brent Tate finds the try line for the first time this afternoon. The young Brisbane centre backed himself. He had the confidence in himself, Craig Alexander. There were 3 Broncos between himself and the line, and he beat convincingly all 3.
That's the reason why Brent Tate played for Australia last year. A fantastic run of the football. Darren Lockyer. Shane Walker chased hard, tried to put some pressure on him when he was kicking the ball. but Darren Lockyer had enough guile to get outside him, unload the ball, pushed onto Brent Tate. He beat 3, stepped inside Chris Walker at the death there, made it very, very hard to stop Brent Tate in this situation when the fullback's coming across.
A fabulous change of pace and step there. Michael De Vere, 26-year-old who is playing his 126th first grade game. Unable to add the extras, much to the delight of the South Sydney faithful here at Aussie Stadium. And after 25 minutes, it is the Brisbane Broncos 4, South Sydney 2.
Had a similar problem out at Penrith last week, De Vere. Kicked plenty of goals, but I think that was only because they were in around the post. He did hook the ball and kick the ball low last week, and from that kick, it looks like he hasn't ironed out that problem yet.
No, not striking the ball as he would have liked. Not far behind Darren Lockyer as the Broncos' most prolific point scorer.
That's one now, let him go, Brian, not a
He
step,
should break that record within the first 6 or 7 rounds of this 2003 season. Webke.
2, let him stand.
Again, tireless in his work. The veteran Andrew G.
3, play it with your foot, Andrew.
A monster pack, Corey Parker. Plus 8 kilograms from his playing weight in 2002. So plenty of milkshakes in the off-season.
You were too far, no, you were too far back and then you went up. You were out of play.
And how quickly the tide can turn. It was all the bunnies 15 minutes ago.
That try came right against the run of play. It really did. But that's what sort of side the Broncos are. They can hurt you like that. Before that penalty, that was Brisbane's best set of 6 coming out of their own end.
They get the relieving penalty, and on tackle number 1, Corey Parker was grasped only 14 metres out from the line. Talis looking to make it number 2 for the Broncos, who might look to the left-hand side. They do. A long ball. G playing at first receiver. Lockyer looked for Tate in a second. Put that one down to Ahmed Bajouri, up in the face of the centre, and just did not give him the time he needed.
Yeah, look, I have an idea that Darren Lockyer really didn't mean that pass for Brent Tate. Michael De Vere was left wide open after Ahmed Bajouri came in off his wing. I think Brent Tate, if he could have just put his hands down and let that ball float right across his face, and would have hit Michael De Vere and would have been a 4-pointer.
Barely a scrum even by the modern day standards. Stringer finds Fitzgerald, 2 wide. Shane Walker straight up the middle, wrapped up by Webke, desperate from marker. Stringer, an inside ball from Walker. If we can't go round them, we're going to go through them. Say the bunnies. Fletcher, Walker, Chris Walker against his old club. He says, take that, Brent Tate.
Just the obstruction around the back post.
Chris Walker was the man Brent Tate got past only minutes ago, Greg Alexander, and that will give the former Bronco plenty of satisfaction.
Something he'd be loving to do, have a big game against his old club. They're looking at that at the moment. There's a hint of a shepherd there. Was Ben Ikin taken out of play? Chris Walker got on the outside of his man. Lee Hookey obstructed Ben Ikin. Did it? Was it enough to stop Chris Walker scoring a try?
Oh yeah, Paul Langmack suggesting perhaps the video referees need a pay increase. Phil Blake by his side, and almost the hint of a smile from the coach.
Comes out from Fletcher to Chris Walker. You just had to wonder whether Ben Ikins had been impeded enough. He got that close anyway and made the tackle in the end. Langmack, Paul Langmack, the coach of the South Sydney Rabbitohs, very happy with Phil Curley's decision. And it's one that could have gone either way.
Greg, we spoke of during the week and in fact earlier in this half of the commitment and the intensity and that, to coin a cliche, that famous South Sydney fighting spirit that they showed last week against the Bulldogs. And whilst the execution may not have been there on several occasions today, that spirit certainly is.
That spirit's there, but and their execution is a lot better. The side that are failing to execute properly today is the Brisbane Broncos. And South Sydney is certainly doing the little things right. They're winning the game at the play the ball, and that's something which not many thought would happen against the Brisbane pack.
8 minutes remain in this opening half. Justin Smith unable to add the crucial 2 points from right out wide, so it remains South Sydney 6, Brisbane 4. And that is a huge confidence boost in the minutes leading up to half-time.
We just look at the completion rates of the South Sydney side, 14 out of 16, only 2 errors. Compare that to the Brisbane side, 11 from 16 and 5 errors.
Pullatua taken on the first. Stringer putting his hand up for some work. The completion rate, as Greg Alexander just suggested, in favour most definitely of South Sydney. You can see the aggression, a controlled aggression being used by the Brisbane line. They are moving up far quicker. They are tackling in numbers. That is the 4th. Shane Webke with his first break for the afternoon. Pullatua, a second touch in the 6th.
And a simple strategy coming out of their own end that is working. They're getting the little men, the quick men at dummy half, getting in between the defenders, and then they're getting the likes of Pullatua and Fletcher making the yards and then getting good kicks away.
Stuart Kelly running backwards to go forwards. That equation doesn't work out. Taken to the ground by the stand-in half. Brett Carney, Lockyer. Beat Carney, beat Fletcher. He's taken to the ground by the all-front row. Kelly again. Involved early. Andrew G. His 5th hit-up of the afternoon. Tony Carroll. G at dummy half. The South Sydney defence likewise has lifted. Darren Lockyer looking to get a nice long kick downfield. It is just that. Bounces awkwardly for Chris Walker and sits up awkwardly for the stand-in fullback. Explosive pace off the mark, Chris Walker. That opening 12 metres, Brandy, is awesome.
Yeah, and I think playing at fullback today, we'll see Chris Walker involved in the game a lot more. Struggled a fair bit playing centre last week against the Bulldogs. Didn't see him much in the game. I think fullback will give him the opportunity to pick and choose when he wants to come into the game.
Brian Fletcher, whose numbers are again good.
Shane Walker absolutely having a field day out of dummy half.
Lock on, change over.
Tragic field position for the Bunnies. The handover, that was their last. Brad Myers will be tackled on the first, 25 metres out from what is potentially points in the minutes leading into half-time. Paul Langmack in front of us, sitting on the edge of his seat as Andrew G charges forward. Met nicely by Brian Fletcher and Paul Stringer. They go to the left through Berrigan. Talis overrunning the ball. Berrigan forced to come back inside. Miscommunication on the left for the Broncos. Eichen. Philip Lee. A questionable ball on the inside for Brad Myers. It is play on. Maybe sweet justice, Greg Alexander.
I think extremely questionable.
He had his hands up like that. You just dropped it out the back.
Dropped it cold.
Yep, when it's wrong, it will. Paul, come on, you right? Two balls off. Took one off. Stay in tight. Go now, go.
Again, a very different defensive pattern. Michael De Vere first on the left for the Brisbane side. And he takes nicely along with Gordon Talis. The former Bronco Ashley Harrison.
Two. Marcus, stay straight, don't split.
Owen Craigie getting in the face of Gordon Talis and copping a little bit back from the raging bull, who it must be said has been on his best behaviour so far this afternoon, Gordy Talis. You know verbally he would be copping plenty from the talkative South Sydney boys.
I don't think you'll bait Gordy this weekend.
Wait, don't go early, wait.
I don't know why you'd want to bait Gordy after seeing what he did last weekend. Timeout for the Bunnies, just what they needed. A gain of only 19 metres with that kick. Time to compose themselves.
Been a fantastic first half of football from the Bunnies and really have shut down everything that the Broncos are throwing them.
That will give them a huge confidence boost, Greg, going into the sheds in front at half-time. The Bunnies very much the underdogs. Brisbane winning the last 11 clashes between these two clubs. Many suggested it was a mere formality this afternoon. Have we got an upset on the cards? The last tackle, with about 3/4 of a minute remaining in the first half. The kick, the chip by Lockyer, taken well by Bajuri. Nothing silly will be the call from the Bunnies. Lee Hookie trapped by Ben Eichen. Tony Carroll in there, enforcing the tackle. Safety first football. For the remaining 30 seconds, Puletua. The front row has been good. They've been sound for the Bunnies. Harrison, Walker, on the inside to Craigie, a little bit of room. The gap shuts very quickly. Swain looking for support. 5 seconds remain. Will the Broncos deflate the Bunnies in one go? No, they won't. It's not a big crowd here at Aussie Stadium, but they're on their feet. The Bunnies lead at half-time. 6 points to 4. We're underway for the second half. The Broncos trail by 2. Frank Puletua with the first touch. I would not have liked to have been in the Brisbane dressing room at half-time. I would suggest it might have been a reasonably animated Wayne Bennett.
Well, uncharacteristic first half by the Broncos. They had less of the ball, but still were able to come up with more mistakes than the Bunnies. Their completion is less than the Rabbitohs, and they've dropped more ball.
Luke Stewart with the last hit up. That's Ashley Harrison and Michael DeVere clutching at his shoulder following the Luke Stewart tackle. Paul Stringer, as Greg just said, has been sound in the opening 40 minutes. Brett Carney, the stand-in halfback, with the late call-up from the bench to fill the void left by Willie Peters, who succumbed to a wrist injury.
Play on. There's no dummy half.
Scrappy play the ball. Ben Eichen makes an easy 9 metres. Great to see the young pivot back in rugby league after what has been a horror 2 seasons. Brad Myers put flat on his back by the Bunnies defence. Talis, by his own standards, has been a little quiet so far. How long will that last? G finds Berrigan one wide. The halfback taken out of the equation for this, the final play. The ball goes to Eichen. Poor kick. Chris Walker takes it on the fall and 31 metres out. He is grasped by Andrew G and Richard Swain.
You're out, Andrew. You weren't screen, mate. I called you out. You weren't screen. Walk away. Just walk away.
You can hear referee Shane Hayne very clear telling Andrew G, stay out of the play, you're offside. The resulting penalty gives South Sydney the first attacking opportunity of this second half. Puletua. Carney in a dummy half. Still waiting for Shane Walker to fill that traditional hooking role. He hasn't been a dummy half for the opening couple of tackles of this set. That's the third. Stringer finds a nice little ball. Carney trapped for the first time. He is finally grasped by Andrew G.
That was a great tackle by Corey Parker.
Harrison on the inside to Puletua. Head down, backside up. He is kept just short. The Bunnies are in.
Just the grounding, mate, please.
And again, it's another former Bronco, Ashley Harrison. The video ref and have a look. Has Ashley Harrison done enough? Justin Smith, it is, my apologies. The Bunnies move ahead of the Broncos by another 4 points.
Frank Pulatua worked his way to the line. A quick play, the ball. Nearly caught Justin Smith unawares. He's able to scoop the ball up and put the ball over the line.
You can hear by the roar, it is successful. The lead is out to 8. And the underdogs are ready to prove that records are meant to be broken. Tony Carroll knocked out like a heavyweight title contender. An accidental elbow at seam, Greg Alexander, from Corey Parker. Have we seen the end of Tony Carroll for this afternoon?
Well, for Brisbane's sake, I hope they haven't. I don't think they can do with just 16 players.
Casey Maguire onto the field for the Broncos as Frank Pulatua
Corey, let him stand here. Good, good.
makes the 14th hitter of his game so far, a very high work rate. Paul Stringer again has been sound, looking to get into South Sydney territory on the final tackle. Safety first football from the dummy half area, Shane Walker finding the touchline and giving his troops a well-earned breather.
Hang on. Let's not spoil these scrums, fellas. They're going good. Arm over the top and tight.
An easy marker is Shane Home. The scrums are going well. Lockyer out wide. Taken nicely. Smith the tackler. Icon. Berrigan's on the left. So too Talis, one wider. Parker with him. Berrigan tries to fly solo. No room through the Bunnies line on this occasion. They are 6 metres out, the Broncos, 8 points behind on the scorecard. Talis pushes, shoves. Not on this occasion.
Let him go.
For the Broncos captain. Parker, nowhere to go. They're looking to the right. They do have numbers. Andrew G. Over the top, basketball style. And as Casey Maguire found the line.
We check the touch line and the corner post.
Greg Alexander, he did try to get down low and push his way to the line.
Bunnies were always short on that left-hand side. Broncos were able to get it out to Casey Maguire. And he's got no problems about being in.
And it is 4 points to the Broncos. It seemed to take an eternity, but Casey Maguire is happy they looked at several different angles. The former Parramatta player has done extremely well in limited space.
Darren Lockyer can see that there's space out wide, does well to draw Lee Hookey in, throws it to Andrew G, who basketballs it over the top, cuts out Brad Myers to Casey Maguire. And as the video referee Phil Curley says, it is a try.
He is copping plenty from behind from the partisan South Sydney fans. There you have a look at the angle. Not much room to operate. Again, strikes it well, but strikes it wide. So 4 points remain the difference here at Aussie Stadium. We have just under 28 minutes to go, and it is most definitely game on between the Broncos and the Bunnies. Can the Broncos get on a roll? This man is hoping they can and ready to provide the platform. Andrew G. Brad Myers. Nice work through the centre of the ruck for Big Red.
Was already tackled, okay.
They might be forced to learn the hard way, the Bunnies. That must be the fourth time that they have really let the Broncos get out of their red zone and get onto the attack. Corey Parker.
That's one now, let him stand.
Doing the hard yards from the tap. G, one wide.
Two, keep coming.
Fletcher in there with Pulatua, Shane Walker, Berrigan, Aiken, Talis on the inside. Talis on the inside. He's broken one, broken two, and finds the line. Just too big, just too strong. And how quickly a game can turn.
Well, it didn't look like there was much on down the right-hand side of the Bunnies' defence. It looked like they were numbered up well. They haven't had many opportunities. Berrigan out to Wyken, just turns it back into Gordon Talis. Young Brett Carney probably went too far across with Ben Aiken, should have stayed on the inside to mark Talis up. The inside defence didn't push across hard enough to cover Talis. He stepped out of Ashley Harrison's attempted tackle, and Nathan Merritt virtually had no chance of stopping Big Gordy 5 metres out from the line.
All part of the game. 50% love him, 50% hate him. Either way, he's got 100% reaction. Devere. A big, big hook from Michael Devere. Broncos 60 metres away from the position they want to be on the park. Richard Swain, who's leading the Brisbane tackle count with 29 so far. Talis caused all sorts of problems on the left-hand side last time around. Lockyer with a nice little chip, making Merritt do plenty of work, and just out metres from the corner post. And that's the relieving kick the Broncos were looking for. The second best possible result, I would suggest, Greg. The ball turned left when Darren Lockyer was hoping it would go straight ahead and really make Nathan Merritt scamper out of that in-goal area.
At this stage of the game, I think Brisbane would have rather the ball stayed in play. It just gives the Rabbitohs enough time to get their breath back, get themselves set for this set of 6.
No, that's just coming out here. Hang on, wait, Shane. Ball now. Let's have it again. No. You keep your feet yourself, let the ball get in. Okay? Go.
You can feel the intensity out there.
Let's tackle one.
Listening to the microphone we have placed on referee Shane Hayne. And there are
Dominant tackle. Dominant for 2.
34 guys who have worked their backsides off in the opening 60 minutes of this clash. It has been uncompromising up the middle. Very few attacking opportunities out wide. And the statistics are relatively evenly shared, which is a good representation of the 12-all scoreline. Nice high midfield bomb for Darren Lockyer, but all of a sudden the Brisbane Broncos are 45 metres away from the try line on the first tackle and in fabulous attacking position.
Rabbitohs really struggled to get out of their own end during that set, and the kick reflected it. Broncos on the attack inside the Bunnies' 30-metre area.
You cannot give a side of this class too many opportunities. You will pay with points. Aiken on the inside. Webke, Talis. He finds his captain, who is very quickly wrapped up by 3 South Sydney defenders. Swain dummies right, goes left to Myers. A flick ball out the back to from Brad Myers to Michael Devere. And a sense of panic from the Broncos late in that set.
Especially when you've got the ball. Listen, 2 hands on the ball and put it in there. Go. Much better.
Shane Walker filling the halfback role for the Bunnies at this stage in a very reshuffled side to the team that was named officially on Tuesday afternoon. Jamie Fitzgerald and Brett Carney sharing the duties at dummy half. Fitzgerald there, looking for some easy yards. Walker, Fletcher, taken nicely. Second phase play, Carney looking right. Taken by Talis. Little man on big man. The big man wins. Craigie. Fletcher heavily involved. So too this man, Justin Smith. Flick back on the inside. Perhaps not the option you wanted there. Fili Lolohea. The Bunnies are on a roll. Can they make the most of it? Craigie boot to ball. Referee Hayne playing the advantage.
Terrific flat ball there from Brian Fletcher to put Justin Smith into a big hole. He floated one over the back of his shoulder to big Fili Lolohea. Well, this is the sort of stuff that this time last year we had 35,000 people at Aussie Stadium watching South Sydney. Because of their poor season and the dramas during the off-season, the crowd's down as Justin Smith moves in.
And finds range to Smith. The Bunnies are back in the lead. The difference only 2.
But these are the sort of performances that the South Sydney fans want. They want to see a competitive side and a side that wins football games. And on this performance today, I think we'll get a big crowd next week.
Wayne Bennett and Alan Langer, no time for jokes or laughter. Up in the Brisbane compound, his 400th game as a first-grade coach. Wayne Bennett. And the Bunnies made to work. Lolohea just gets back out into the field of play, or has he? Play one, you can hear Shane Haynes screaming. The Broncos looking to jam up an extremely condensed defensive line. Maguire and Swain. That is tackle 3. 10 metres has been made. Make that 17, 18. Last tackle for the Bunnies. Is there pressure on the kicker? Not this time round, Carney. A good clearing kick. Darren Lockyer fumbles 20 metres from his own line. Shane Webke being taken from the field, perhaps under an injury cloud. Brad Myers. Richard Swain, Brent Tate looking for work as well. So too Sean Barrigan, the scheming halfback, has played well today. Talis. Can't repeat the dose he served up earlier in this half by breaking 3 tackles. This is the last. Icon. An awkward kick. Which way will it bounce? Here comes De Vere. There's all sorts of problems for Merritt. Shannon Webke holding the melon. Oh, and he's got every reason to. Another what seems to be concussion for the Broncos. They can ill afford to lose someone with the work ethic and quality play of Shane Webke for the final 12.5 minutes. Sivanasiva. Myers again. That's hit up number 19. He leads that count for both sides, as a matter of fact. Icon. Nice short ball to Carlaw, who's wrapped up in turn. Stewart and Smith, the tacklers. Icon getting more involved. Berrigan. An intercept, and Owen Craigie has got no one in front of him. He took it on the 30-metre line. The legs are getting weary, but the line is getting closer.
Oh, the Bunnies!
How sweet it is. And it feels like there's 40,000 people at Aussie Stadium. A small but vocal crowd are cheering their Bunnies all the way to the full-time siren.
Out to Berrigan, who ran across the field looking to pick up Gordon Talis. Owen Craigie read it beautifully. Had the legs to go 70 metres. Michael De Vere running him down. And Big Owen, glad to see the try line. Paul Langmax giving him a chance. And he's certainly very happy about what's going on here.
I've never seen a coach applauding his players such as the passion, the animation that Paul Langmack is exhibiting here at Aussie Stadium. Justin Smith could throw this one over, and the difference is going to be 8. They certainly have the upper hand, the Bunnies, 20 points to 12, under 10 minutes remain. Has the coach got the Midas touch? We may well know 9.5 minutes.
They don't have to stop playing football, the Bunnies, but they don't have to do things unnecessarily.
Merritt. Pulatua has been strong today. Hit up number 15 for the front rowers. Stringer. Hit up number 17. The numbers are good for the front row. Second phase play.
And something that they did lack in
Minicello. Mark Minicello on for the Bunnies.
Their offloads have been fantastic today compared to last week against the Bulldogs, where they really lacked that second phase play. They are really putting the Brisbane defence under all sorts of pressure with their offloads from Fletcher and from Stringer.
3 phases of play on that occasion and 32 metres to tell for it.
Knock on, fellas. Come off a Brisbane player, went forward then again.
Unfortunately, the execution at times has let them down, but enterprising stuff from the Bunnies.
Well, they had the numbers over there too. Lee Hookie just ran the wrong line.
Make sure we bind tight. He's not slapping off in the scrums. No. Get up. Get up. Get up. Oh, should have been too much, boys. Tight, going over the top line. Good. Put it in. Leave him alone. Hold there.
Paul Stringer making that the longest set for a scrum of all time. Lockyer, what magic can he weave? It was the Darren Lockyer show against Penrith last week. Greggy has been unable to hit that type of form here today.
Well, all down to the Rabbitohs defence. They've just given the outside men of the Broncos no room at all, but a desperate Broncos side is a dangerous Broncos side.
Myers taken nicely by the much smaller Justin Smith. Corey Parker looking for more work. They're going to look to the right-hand side. That's where Sean Berrigan is. Make a fool of me. Go to the left with Lockyer.
Well, his defence, Brett Carney's defence has been fantastic all game. Many times he's had to come up against Gordon Talis.
Bajuri has left it.
Made an absolute meal of it, Bajuri.
Michael De Vere, it does not get any easier. A crucial mistake that could bite the Bunnies and bite them hard.
Well, there just wasn't much happening. Gordon Talis has put the ball to foot. The ball's bounced over Ahmed Bajuri's head, and just an easy 4-pointer for Michael De Vere, which gets the Brisbane side with just under 7 minutes to go right back into this game.
Michael De Vere has not had an easy kick this afternoon. It is 4 tries to 3 for the Broncos, but the 4 goals to the Bunnies represent the difference. Gordon Talis's kicker, another string to his bow. It certainly wasn't the kick. It seemed to be a lack of commitment to the ball from Ahmed Bajuri.
Well, in Bajuri's defence, he was positioned right. He had to stay up. He couldn't drop back a long way because he was the blindside winger. He did drop back far enough to cover the ball. It's just the bounce of the ball beat him.
Michael De Vere to get back within 2. He's hooked it, and nicely. 5 minutes 21 to go. And what a game we have on our hands. It was a grandstand finish between the Broncos and the Panthers in round number 1, and the Broncos survived the Panthers.
They did it the other way.
Yeah.
The Broncos led the game all the way against Penrith and held off the spirited fight back from the Panthers. Now they've got to come from behind.
If any team is capable of finding the line with minutes remaining, it is this Brisbane-based outfit. Carlo, good yards down the left-hand side. That is tackle 3. Icon out wide, finds Lockyer, always dangerous. Dummies. Kelly was unmarked on the outside. Tackle 4, Casey Maguire. Take the ball to ground. Looks for support. No one there. What will they try? Straight up she goes. It is a monster by Darren Lockyer. The pressure most certainly on Nathan Merritt, who was as cool as the other side of the pillow on that occasion. And the Bunnies now desperate to get the football up the other end of the field.
Not a classic torpedo bomb from Lockyer, but Nathan Merritt had to do plenty of work to get under that ball and did it very well.
Fletcher, heavily involved. Had a rest just prior to and just after the break. Fitzgerald puts boot to ball and Lockyer. No problems with such a bomb. Craigie perhaps searching a little high. Tate keen to get involved. De Vere moves into the ruck.
Well, he's been terrific in defence for the Rabbitohs today, Brett Carney. Just a little bit over-enthusiastic, but with just on 4 minutes to go. The Bunnies didn't need that, and they're under all sorts of pressure here with Brisbane taking the ball inside the Rabbitohs' 30-metre area.
First choice is points, second choice, another set of 6. Maguire taken nicely out wide. Luke Stewart, the tackler. Back to Berrigan. Parker in the middle of the field, wrapped up nicely. Fitzgerald and Pula are there. Lockyer out wide. Talis! He only knows one way. That is the final tackle. Lockyer at first receiver, Berrigan at second. And almost another intercept for Jamie Fitzgerald. It is a scrum. The Broncos with 6 again.
Don't break. Don't break. You don't want a penalty here. Stay in the scrum.
Under 2 minutes remain. A grandstand finish here at Aussie Stadium.
No.
20 points to 18.
We need a lock in here. We need a lock in. We need a lock in. We can't have too many backs. I've called timeout. Wait.
The Bunnies trying to pull one over on Shane Hayne. Talis looking to do it himself, has scored one today. There is room on the left. Berrigan trapped nicely. Bajuri very quick from the line. He had a head start, says the referee.
Had to do it, but had to come out of the line. The Broncos certainly had numbers on the South Sydney side then. Bajuri made his mind up to come in, caught offside.
The Broncos have position. The Broncos have possession, but they have the clock working against them. There is room out wide. Parker looks to go straight through the middle. The Broncos line is deep on the right-hand side. That's the way they go. Are they going to rob the Bunnies of a dream? Take tackle. 50 seconds remain. Lockyer. 3 metres short. That is tackle 4. Talis. Last tackle. Last throw of the dice. The Broncos are in the box seat. What can they produce? Have we got a try? No, we haven't. The Bunnies holding on for everything that they are worth.
Stuart Kelly was almost over the line then. What a terrific tackle.
Shane Walker with selective consciousness. With a wink to Tony Henderson, the trainer. I'm using up the clock. Don't take offence, Gordy. What a thrilling finish! It's been robbed! Brent Tate has scored in the corner.
Just when we rake that ball up, just to see where the ball went.
With 10 seconds to go, Paul Stringer runs the ball out from dummy half. That's a one-on-one strip.
It goes one-on-one. It goes from Berrigan. Let's have another look. Talis on Stringer. The ball goes back. There is no denying the completion. Here we go. Quite simply, this determines the match. The Broncos score, the Broncos win. With 4 seconds to go.
We had some fantastic comebacks last round in the first round of the season, but I haven't seen a comeback like that for many a year. South Sydney, I can't explain how their coaches, how the players, the coach and their fans are feeling at the moment. Absolutely gutted, because they had that match wrapped up. A look of disbelief on the coach's face, Paul Langmack, and as well it should be. But he would be proud of what... He would be proud of the South Sydney players today.
Not that it matters. The kick is wide, and we have witnessed an absolute thriller here at Aussie Stadium. The Brisbane Broncos 22, South Sydney 20.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports in partnership with the National Rugby League.